What up? It's your boy Steven, aka The Visualizer, shooting another video. It's going to be the last one in my Journey series, episode 23. This is going to talk about what happened when I came back from the Pacific Northwest to Pennsylvania. So, I mentioned, I needed to stay out in the Pacific Northwest for about a month. And then that last week, I just expected the worst going home. Things started not falling in my favor. And I became really demoralized that I hadn't made more personal progress and that things hadn't happened for me as expected, because I was pitched that there would be new beginnings and opportunities in Oregon, and I really didn't materialize. I didn't really meet anybody that could move me forward that I thought. I made some new friends at the ayahuasca retreat in Mount Shasta. But everything was very slow progress, which is typically what it's been in the 10 months that I've been on this spiritual journey. And I was just running out of hope, because this was a big thing. I really had put a lot of my stock into the ceremony, and then also this trip that I just took, off of blind faith, kind of giving up the last of my money and my material things, coming out to the Pacific Northwest, and nothing happened. So even before I got on the plane, I was like, I don't think this shit is going to work out anymore. It's been too long, and really not enough has gone in my favor. And I had really planned on a date that I was going to commit suicide, which has been a thing in my life since I've been 10 years old. Many attempts, many failed, many that I stopped right at the last moment. So it's been a demon that I've been forced to face, much earlier than most people, and it's been constant. And again, just had a life of unfulfillment, particularly in the latter part of it, and just dealt with mental and emotional issues and psychological stuff, and went on this spiritual awakening journey for a while, and it was really at hope, and I still believe in this shit fully. But it was, things were just not adding up. So I came back to PA. Thankfully, there were family that offered to let me stay with them. The few people in my life that I can trust and rely on, that I love and care about, were there for me. Many other people were revealed to me out on the West Coast that I thought were my friends, that weren't actually, that were deceiving me for different reasons. And I was shown a lot of my different enemies and visions and what they're doing to work against me. So that's just, dirt off my shoulder though. So whatever. And again, I forgive anybody that's worked against me, because it's all really been done to teach me lessons, and some of those lessons I haven't learned yet, but you're totally forgiven. And I ask God to show mercy when you face judgment from Him for whatever you've done against me. So I came back to Pennsylvania, and family put me up for a week and really did a good job, going above and beyond to help me feel comfortable and loved. And they knew I had been through some shit. It was pretty obvious. I hadn't shared all the details with them, but I've shared enough to know that they knew that I was in a bad spot. So that whole week, I had another healing session with someone from my healing academy, the one that was very hyped up, that was going to help me out. And it was productive, but it still didn't push me forward far enough. I'm really just putting in so much work and expecting something noteworthy to happen in my life, and I'm taking action, and it just wasn't happening. So I guess this is June 11th. That was a date that I had to take back my truck. The lease was up, and being that I'm not working and all my funds dried up, there was no way for me to get another vehicle. So I just basically dropped it off that day, and I knew beforehand going into it that was basically my deadline, where that last thing really broke me. Like everything else that I've lost, I don't know, the truck just hit me hardest, because it's freedom. It's like, I knew, like, before I can get to and from places, and then again, it served as a de facto shelter when I was homeless for weeks. So, and I really liked that truck, and the fact that I had to give that up and now I was just going to be confined to wherever I found myself. And not that walking is a big deal, because I'm a fucking expert walker by now. I fucking walk everywhere since even before I was homeless. But it's just the psychological thing that really took a toll on me, and that was like the last straw. So I had meticulously planned my suicide back in October, when I had the dark night of my soul, when I was going through the beginnings of my spiritual awakening, and that plan was still intact. So I went out to a place that I was called to, and I found my plans were I was going to drown myself. I figured that would be the most quickest and humane way to go. I'm not really into like defiling myself or like cutting or anything drastic. I'm not trying to send a message, so it was just quick and easy. Let's get this over with. So I had this whole plan, and dropped my truck off at the dealership, traded that in, and then went to this place I had in mind and stayed there for the day. And I actually recorded a really long suicide video. It was like 45 minutes, and I tried to explain kind of my thought process at the time, which I'll get into a little bit here. But it was really just loss of hope. And hope has really been what sustained me through my spiritual awakening journey. I've taken so many leaps of faith, done so many things that people will say are illogical or irrational, but I truly believe in this shit because I've seen it. Once you see proof of this shit, you can't go back. And that's really what it is. And unfortunately, it's almost like if you know, you know. But I can say all this stuff till I'm blue in the face, and most people won't believe me. But if you're on this journey like I am, you know. You've seen the miracles, you've seen the signs, you've talked with people and seen proof of a lot of this stuff that's unexplainable, that's spiritual in nature, God related, and all that. So at no point did my faith ever waver in like what I was doing, and I actually still to this day feel like I've made all the right moves. Like I've done a lot of introspection, particularly on the big moves that I've made, and like what could have I done differently. And each time it's like I look back and I don't really see any mistakes, and I'm pretty open to criticizing myself. I'm the toughest judge of anybody on me. And I look back at the things I did, like quit my job, and the people that the friends and family that I discarded, and all of these things turned out to like work in my benefit more than otherwise. And it's just a weird, difficult ass journey that I've been tasked to walk, apparently. And I've had this frustration for a while where it seems like I'm chasing someone that's got like a carrot on a stick, and every time I get close they just pull it away. It's like a tease. Someone could say that that's kind of religion or spirituality in a nutshell, but when you believe in a higher power and you see things, it goes beyond that. But yeah, I just felt like I've given up so much, and improved myself so much, and I've handled this with as much grace as possible, and just nothing was falling in my favor. It was just taking so fucking long, and I was just getting impatient. It was like, you can only be breadcrumbed for so long, before you snap. And that's basically what happened. And I was like, man, fuck this. Like, this isn't worth continuing to just eat up these little crumbs. Like, I want the whole meal at some point. Like, I need some movement on some of the things that I'm working towards. And so I planned for my suicide, to drown myself that night, and stayed at this place the whole day and meticulously planned out everything so it would not impact anybody else. Again, shot my suicide note on video, and I wasn't really happy with it. I rambled on. I wasn't emotional at all, which was surprising because I had been contemplating this a lot, particularly in the last week when I was in Oregon, and actually teared up a few times kind of reflecting on my life. But when I shot the video, I was stone cold killer. And yeah, so I was all ready, had everything prepared, and you know, I really didn't want to go through with it, but I didn't see any other option. And prayed and meditated near the end. That was always going to be the plan, just to give God another chance to save and guide me. And time came for me to do the do, and I couldn't do it. So it was a combination of, I really didn't like the way that I shot the suicide video. I didn't feel like it encapsulated my feelings, and it didn't explain things well enough, and I didn't leave things in a proper way with the people that I loved and cared about. And then also, I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to be proved wrong by the people that stand against me. I know that a lot of this is in my head. That's really the battle with any of our demons, is you fighting against yourself and you being deceived by illusions and your own thoughts that are used against you. And like, I knew that going into it, and I was still, you know, so I got a little flicker of hope, and I was like, you know what? And one of my mentors, Dan Millman, is an author. I went to one of his retreats back in November at Kripalu Yoga Center, and he had a prescient quote on quitting. He was like, I don't know where he got it from. He was like, yeah, if you're thinking about quitting and giving up, just wait and do that tomorrow, which is hilarious. He's like, yeah, if you just keep doing that, then you'll never quit. And yeah, I think my main gift really in this lifetime is just persistence and willpower, and then just being stubborn. I don't want to be wrong. I want to be right. So I chose to live that day, and got Uber back to where I was staying, and really did some more contemplation on life. But I felt like pretty good that I had faced my demon, because I expected fully going there that day that was the end of me, and I had planned it so meticulously and really thought out every aspect of it and prepared. And the fact that it didn't happen, that I got there at the foot of where I was going to go in the water and couldn't make the decision, it made me feel good. It freed me up, because I knew like that was the perfect opportunity. If I was ever going to do it, it was going to be then. So I felt like I faced down my toughest demon that day and conquered him, and it's probably what that moment was for, really. So yeah, I'm not sure what lesson to get out of other than that. So came back to where I was staying with family, and kind of things opened up for me, and continuing on my healing journey. There have been some opportunities that have popped up since then to really help me push me forward a little bit, and just trying to be patient and continue walking this path, which with, again, as much grace as I can, forgiveness for myself and others, continuing to show love and, you know, work towards my goals, because I have big goals and desires in this life, and I also have a mission. I'm a light worker, I'm a star seed, I'm an earth angel, and I have a responsibility to myself and the people on this planet to continue acting in a positive manner, because we have big goals to turn the world around, and I'm just a small piece of this. I'm one of the 144,000 that exist on this planet that have different roles. Still have yet to really find my niche, but I feel like it's coming soon. And yeah, so that's been my journey. So been a crazy journey through spiritual awakening. What the future holds for me, I don't know. I have some plans, but as I mentioned, I can't really put anything out there about what I'm doing or what I'll be doing in the future, because there are a lot more people that are against me that are for me right now, and they'll use that against me. But I'm divinely protected. God is looking out for me. And yeah, I'm just going to continue to have faith and hope, continue to take the decisive action towards making big changes in my life, and things are going to break for me soon enough, and we'll just go with that. So thank you for coming along on this journey with me. Hopefully you learned something, or at least entertained you, and you know, we'll talk again at some point. Peace, love, and light.